Now we're going to practice writing equations of lines that might be described as being either parallel or perhaps perpendicular to a given line. So this given line is going to be what we call over here the comparison line. So I'm going to call this is like the original. I'll put the word original there. So to a given line, and this is going to be our comparison line. To do this, what you're going to do is you're going to find the slope. You're going to solve for y. So you're going to take the original line, solve it for y so that you can find the slope. You're going to decide on the slope of your new line. So this is going to be the new line that we're talking about right here. Do we want a slope that's parallel, in which case we'd want to use the same slope? Or did we want a slope that was perpendicular? So in that case, we'd use the opposite reciprocal. Then we're going to write the equation in point-slope form. So notice that this is point-slope form because we're going to have a point in the slope using the point you were given and the slope you decided on in step 2. If requested, change to the proper form of the line, which might be either standard form perhaps, could be standard, or it could be slope-intercept, just depending. Or maybe they'll just let you leave it the way it is. All right, so example 4, here we go. Write each equation in the requested form. So A, it passes through the point -1, 3. So our new line, here's our point. It's going to be parallel to 2x minus y equals 6. So from here, we're going to have to find the slope. And then we're going to write it in the end in slope-intercept form. So solve the comparison line for y. So we have 2x minus y is -6. So we will subtract 2x from both sides. And that will give us -y is equal to -2x minus 6. And then we'll divide through by -1. And we'll end up with that y is equal to 2x plus 6. Now, really, all we're interested in is the slope. So the slope of the comparison line, the original slope is 2. So m is 2. So the slope of our line, which is going to be parallel to it, is going to be the same. So that means that it also is going to have a slope of 2. Now, we're going to write it in point-slope form. So we're going to have y minus. And we got to go back up here and remember what the point was. So here's our point. So the y value is 3. So y minus 3 equals our slope here, which is 2. And then x minus up here, -1. So that's going to give us +1. So we have an equation of a line, but it's in point-slope form. And we were requested to write it in slope-intercept form. So in order to do that, I need to eliminate the parentheses. So y minus 3 equals 2x plus 2. And then I need to solve it for y so that I have a y alone on the left side. So that's going to give me y is equal to 2x plus 5. All right, now let's do example B. This time it's going to pass through the point 2, 1, to -1. It's going to be perpendicular to 3x minus y equals 7. So here's my comparison line. And we're going to end up with standard form. So we want to begin with figuring out what this slope is. So we need to write this in slope-intercept. So we have 3x minus y equals to 7. We're going to solve it for y. So subtract 3x from both sides. That will leave us with -y is equal to -3x plus 7. Then we're going to need to divide through by -1, and we'll come up with that y is equal to 3x minus 7. All right, so for this, for our original line, the comparison line, m is 3. And if we want a perpendicular line, our new line, which is going to be perpendicular, remember right here, the perpendicular line is going to have m is equal to, it's going to have the opposite sign, so negative, and then the reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. So we're going to write it then in slope-intercept or point slope form. So y minus a negative 1, so y plus 1 is equal to this new slope, which is negative 1/3, and then x minus 2. So we have it in point slope form. Now we need to use its standard form. So let's multiply through everything by a 3. And that's going to give us 3y plus 3 equals a negative 1 times x minus 2. Distribute to get rid of my parentheses. So that's going to be negative x plus 2. Don't forget to distribute into that negative. A lot of you forgot that on the exam. All right, so then I need to then get my x and y on the same side. So I'm going to plus the x, and I'm going to move my 3 to the other side. So I'm going to minus the 3, and that's going to give me then x plus 3y subtracts, is equal to 2, and negative 3 is negative 1. My x is positive, so remember it needs to be positive, and it is. So that's my answer.